Back home, I began to notice how angry and apathetic the American people are, and I deduced that it's likely because they get paid nothing and are struggling to survive, but the same is true here in Bali, no? New York City must be a culture shock to most foreigners. I sit across from homeless drug addicts on the subway, briefly thinking about how they are someone's child, only to get off at my stop and make my peace with the dark underbelly of my own residence. Yet, here I am, wondering if the streets are safe on the other side of the world, only because I know it far less. Safety is such an illusion.
Hi, I leave for Bali in 2 days. 2 days. It's Monday, September 16th. I leave the 18th, and this is what my floor looks like. Packing a carry-on for 2 months. So, we have some work to do. A whole 24 hours later, I am packed. This is genuinely the lightest I've ever packed. I am so impressed. Genuinely so impressed. He's ready for transatlantic travel. Mr. Buddy. He goes everywhere with me, and he has since I was 5 years old.
September 18th. I've officially embarked upon the 23-hour journey to Bali. I'm sat on a large plane with hundreds of passengers, acutely aware that everything changes from here. While I'm not technically moving away, I just feel that the life that I know is now a distant memory. As I sit on this plane and I go across the world in both time and distance, I get further and further from this life where I'm clocking into 9 a.m. meetings, high heels on a pavement while I skirt through the subway to some idea of success that's never been my own. This freedom feels bizarre to me, and this journey ahead feels untouchable. It hasn't really hit me yet that I'm taking it at all. I hope for transformation of the heart and soul, to rest, to get to be myself in the world and to learn how to do so. I can't explain it, but I just know that everything changes now.
Okay, after 24 hours of travel, I've made it to Bali.
September 20th. The other side of the world is asleep. There is something peaceful about that to me. Saturday, September 21st. It's starting to feel real, in the scary way, the sad way, the realization of impermanence way, but also in the exciting way, the silly way, the way that kicks my ass into waking up from the dream of fear and moving myself forward. Sunday, September 23rd. My days here have so far consisted of recovering from jet lag, drinking coffee, trying to ease my body back into some rhythm and routine, writing my way back to myself, observing and feeling so far away from everything that I know, but then questioning if I even know it in the first place, feeling this palpable feeling that the world will always go on, with or without me, and that it always does and always has, whether I'm there or not there. All the things I fear I'm missing out on, I'd probably be in my head for anyways, so at least I'm here. I am here.
It is my 5th day in, and I just thought I would update my entire trip so far. It was a 23-hour travel journey. I definitely was experiencing the flux of solo travel for the first time and really grappling with this sense of self-trust. I've been caught between taking leaps that I haven't fully trusted myself to take, yet doing it anyways in the hope that I will trust myself as I go. And it really has just been one step in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. And it's really a journey and a process. And this trip is showing me a lot about what I fear. My 23-hour journey was nothing short of that. I met my friend who lives here and I stayed with her the first night. I slept in the next day, literally woke up and got on my first motorbike with her and her boyfriend. I found myself having a slow day before checking into my little room. When I got to Canggu, like the culture shock of the craziness really hit me because it just was not what I was expecting Bali to be. And I think that it's a really great learning experience because I have heard many things about Canggu, and I think I don't know, I didn't really want to believe them, or I thought that maybe I would get away from all of the noise and the party scene and the bustling craziness. But I surely have not. I still very much feel like I'm in this like overstimulated state. And I know that as I make my way to the jungle of Ubud, where I'm doing my yoga teacher training, which is the whole purpose of my trip in Bali, that I will slowly start to come out of that place. I really want to prepare my mind for yoga teacher training, which is why I wanted to come early and stay for a little bit and really adjust to the time zone and adjust to a different lifestyle and start to learn more about Bali as a whole. Balinese people, like, very happy. Like, they're very peaceful people. While I've been here, I've been really trying to just like give back in the ways that I can and like give back the kindness that's given to me, which is given to me everywhere. Like, I will say that just the people are so kind. The way that they smile is just very special. That's very weird to see, like, the local people against the background of this like version of westernized consumerism in this like Eastern place with a very traditional Eastern religion as a big part of its culture. And it's something that I think is just like really, really special. The offerings that they make to the gods and all of the temples. And I've almost been unable to, I think, fully drop into the spiritual essence of Bali being in Canggu because it's in a place of such partying and it's such a scene. But then I will see the offering made in the morning or at night and the incense lit, or I'll walk past one of these temples and I don't know, it's like the culture is such a deeply connected part of the place and it's just really special. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to being here and exploring the island and just all of the things. It's just a little update on my first week in Bali.
Wednesday, September 25th. I wandered out of bed and into the soft blue of a beginning sunrise, walking past quiet villas and beach shacks and watching the island relax and the beach come closer. I saw dogs of all sizes chasing each other and playing as if this was the meeting spot for the morning get-together. Most have collars on and walk freely around the streets. I sat quietly and watched. Dogs, surfers, waves, locals, admiring it all.
There is truly something so special about sunrise. I know that a lot of people like struggle to record themselves in public, and honestly, sometimes I'm one of those people. Like lately, I've been really getting in my head about it and being like, oh my god, is anyone watching me? And I notice myself like look left and right to see if there's anyone near me before I start recording. And there's like kind of a little adrenaline rush in just like getting up and doing it. And the more that you can laugh at yourself, the easier everything is, because you just don't take it as seriously. You're essentially always going to be uncomfortable when you're in a new situation, and there is a real skill in being able to decipher discomfort with being in danger, and I think I'm still like finding that balance.
The busy streets of Canggu are filled with motorbike traffic that seems like a sixth sense for the natives to navigate. On these scooters are men and women riding to or from work, zipping quickly around with sometimes a child or two or a dog or all three packed onto it. Kids ride smaller bikes and even stand tall on top of them as the wheels graze the dusty roads, fearless and barefoot and hardly visible. Back home, I began to notice how angry and apathetic the American people are, and I deduced that it's likely because they get paid nothing and are struggling to survive, but the same is true here in Bali, no? Yet they all wear smiles and surrender. It reminds me of that story about the child in the cold. This poor and homeless little girl who shakes and shivers and goes about life just accepting the way that it is and surviving. She shakes and shivers and smiles. until a man drops beside her and offers her a blanket and a bed, introducing this idea of warmth that she's never really had. And when she obviously accepts, he leaves to fetch the blanket and promises to take her to the bed. He leaves, but he never comes back. And the girl, now with this idea of warmth, shakes and shivers. But that night, she stops smiling. She stops surrendering. And that night, she dies. She dies, waiting for the man to bring her the warmth. She loses her will to live by resisting the suffering she once surrendered to in the expectation that it was going to end. New York City must be a culture shock to most foreigners. I sit across from homeless drug addicts on the subway, briefly thinking about how they are someone's child, only to get off at my stop and make my peace with the dark underbelly of my own residence. Yet, here I am, wondering if the streets are safe on the other side of the world, only because I know it far less. Safety is such an illusion.
I knew I'd be here one day. Not on the other side of the world, but on the other side of the decision.
Monday, September 30th. Well, I'm here, and I am so excited for this 3-week journey ahead. My heart feels so full, and the beautiful lush jungle and green forest with singing birds and yoga to be done is just the magic I've been waiting for so long. Honestly, I just want to rest. It is my intention to sink fully into this experience, to be present, and to make myself at home here. I am here. Wednesday, October 2nd. Nature is omnipresent here. Birds, crickets, noises of reptiles all singing in a beautiful chorus. The days are structured nicely. 6 to 9 a.m. cleansing, breath, movement, lesson, then breakfast. An interactive class, lunch, a short break, and alignment and adjustment, and a short lesson to end the day. This environment is so special. The sounds of the birds and the wind flit through the walls and open-air shala as we consciously breathe together. I feel as though we've all gathered from opposite sides of the world to converge together at the center. I am already learning so much, feeling so much, creating so much without any active effort, which is so odd for me. I feel more me than I have in a very long time. October 7th. I kept saying before this journey began that I was going to Bali to meet myself. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but I'm beginning to know what it means. My true self, my soul self, it feels so awake here. I feel safe to be eager, and at once I feel calm to be in the wave of the moon, tender and soft and allowing. Throughout this last year, I've felt the layers of a false self peel back until there was nothing false left. I'm beginning to see that this idea that I'm alone, that I've carried around for so much of my life, that I need to extend my hand first always, or be the one to reach out always, that I can't trust others to show up the way that I do, it's just shattered here. I am here because of the threads and webs of all who I have met, aligned with or unaligned, who have helped me to see and witness and know my deepest nature, and it is simple. It is love, and here I sit. Root fully into this multidimensional nature and allow it to teach me what I need to go forward in my life with it. I am so grateful. October 10th. This training is incredible in so many ways, but it is intense and fast-paced and overwhelming at the same time. I am moving through this week, finding softness in the thickness of vinyasa. This week, I've been allowing all of the emotions stored and unkept to move through with breath. Only with breath it is possible, and I'm learning how incredible it is that our breath can give us this much space to allow. This week I am allowing. October 13th. Sunset, bird noises, flow music, warm skin that is salty with the day lived, sounds of communication, geckos chirping. End of the second week of yoga teacher training. I feel this beautiful shedding of fear. With a new perspective, I ask myself, what am I called into in this life? When I remove this fear, how do I want to move forward? I've loved every minute of being here so far, the magic I'm learning about my own body and the energies we can connect to and purify or stimulate feel so important. I'm equipped and empowered with knowledge, love, the freedom of expression, and this feels like the most important hygiene that there is, and I don't understand why it's not taught to us. Some themes that are coming up for me: to acknowledge emotions without trying to change while being sovereign, limitations transmuted, softening through discomfort, becoming tender-hearted to myself and not just others, coming home from the depths of myself. I am so at peace. October 15th. It is the last day of classes before exams tomorrow. What does it mean if a snake crosses your path? It's crossed mine twice since I've been here. Shedding, transformation. Sounds about right. This has been such an incredible journey with incredible teachers and a beautiful inner blooming, reconnecting with this deep and curious essence of who I truly am. I couldn't be more grateful. Movement is medicine. October 19th. Well, I am officially a yoga teacher. Slowly, I plug back into the awareness of an outside world while holding space for myself inside to decant this journey. I feel so grateful for the friendship, for the knowing, for the trusting of myself through this process, and for continuing to do so no matter how hard it's been. Where my social battery may be drained in normal life, here I felt no need to perform or to be anything, no need to turn myself on, just a sweet comfort in being with people and having an open heart at once. It feels so good to lean into being held that way, and to realize that I have that choice all the time. I feel so inside of the space of belonging, and now that I'm alone for the first time in 3 weeks, the sweetness of my own company feels even sweeter. Through learning more about the friendship I've felt here, I'm discovering more about what it means to be a friend to myself. A big part of that is the continuation of exploration, discovery, and celebration. Maybe I don't need to know exactly what's next. Maybe I can just continue. October 21st. I miss home a lot today. It's been over a month since I've been gone, and I miss routine. I miss the motivation of a bustling city. I miss seeing the seasons change. I haven't recorded a podcast episode in months, and I'm looking for every distraction and avoidance to it. I'm feeling the impact of deciding to do away with my ADHD meds. This time in my life is so special. I'm free. And now that I can feel into this, now that I've surrendered, what will I do? What am I called into leaning into in this next season of my life? Truly, I feel so much fear. But when I remove the fear, what comes up? How do I want to move forward? What does the divine have in store for me when I just relax and lovingly follow my destiny? When I just clear the space to listen? When I just accept that I'm safe, no matter how hard my body wants to fight that truth, I'm safe. I'm safe. It is my job to remind myself every day that I am safe. This journey has been so scary, so terrifying, but so worth it. November 8th. It's one day before I leave this magical land, and I'm feeling so many things about it. I'm in disbelief at how quickly these 6 weeks have gone and how I found myself spending a whole season on the other side of the globe. I am in awe at my ability to build union with new settings around me, no matter where I am, no matter how fearful I was. I feel grateful for this beautiful journey, from arriving in such shock to sitting sweetly in the depth of friendship and comfort, and for all that I've learned on this journey abroad. You can drop your anchor anywhere in the world, but your roots will always ground into the place that you belong. This trip has changed me, and I've built a relationship with my softness in a new way. I've learned about the power of my energy and the beauty of my soul. I've spent time with my mind, my body, and I've been whispered to by God. The things that I know are stronger, and now I just have to trust. I just have to surrender. I just have to take all of this that I've learned here and bring it back with me, allowing it to slowly seam its way into the corners of my life, building softness in places where it's never been before, in places where there's only been harshness, allowing myself to sink with ease into who I truly am. And that is love. I am love.